Well, welcome. My name is Henrique, Sutto. Welcome. My nickname is Alemão. And this is Amazon Inc. First of all, what the hell is that? Everybody asks me, what is Amazon Inc? And Amazon Inc. is an imaginary company that operates under Amazonian jungle rules. What the hell? Hold on, we'll get there. It covers exclusively the culture of Brazilian tribes. So if you guys know any other Indian nation, just forget about them just a little bit, right? This is not an anthropological study. Please, James. I'm not a human scientist, I'm a businessman, I'm a creative, so I'm a little bit romantic about it. And it does not intend to be the new freaking awesome golden framework. Leah just gave that to you guys, so use hers. And why? Because this is only my interpretation of facts. It's my point of view. It's my reality. So stick with me and let's share some ideas for the next 30 minutes. What's happening right now? Everywhere I go, I always listen to people saying that the market has never been so freaking difficult. No one's saying actually that it's getting increasingly easier. I don't know why. We're going to talk about it a bit. But I feel that if you talk to a person at farmer, talking about the price of his grain, or a businessman in Wall Street, everybody's seeing that. Everybody's saying that the market has never been so difficult. Let's see some reasons for that. Maybe it's because of competitiveness. We don't have actually two great things right now. Lots of rarely good things. Information became public. Focus on results, that's definitely the bomb, right? We were product-oriented, then we became market-oriented, then we became stock market-oriented. And figures versus people. Bottom line is fucking beating human talent. We always said that. We are in the creative world, right? And I think that happy employees enter the endangered specialist. And I can prove that. The image here is not so good, but this was a research made with 7 countries about how much do you love your job. First place, Canada. 2/3 really like their jobs. Bottom place, last place, 7th, Germany. 1/3 really like their jobs. And those countries are pretty big, huh? Netherlands, India, United States, United Kingdom, France. I wonder what's going on in the other parts of the world. So probably
to play soccer.
Yeah. But maybe in other parts of the world we don't care about that shit anymore. That's your stuff. We do music. So maybe we have some ideas here. Another research, this time only in the US. How much do you agree with the following statement? Business do not do enough to create a sense of purpose and deliver meaningful impact. And I always hear people say, no, my director or my leaders, they really love what they do, and I don't get it. I don't love what I do. And to be honest, they think just as you do. Employees and executives, right? They actually don't agree. They actually don't agree with their company's visions or goals. They're actually pretty unsatisfied with those things. And this one I love. Most valuable brands, best workplaces, and biggest companies. And just 2 guys are here and here. So hold on a second. Are you saying that me, as a regular person, should put my money there, work here, and buy this stuff? What's going on? How come those big oil companies, Royal Dutch, Walmart, ExxonMobil, can be great places to work in and can have beautiful brands? So this misalignment is really awkward to me. And that's, people say, want to be happy in a place that actually has a purpose? Open your own, dude. That's what many of you guys are doing. That's what I did some years ago. And that's, I think, is the future. Everybody's trying to open up their own companies. And it is able to try, even though you may fail. And the odds are against us, right? 95% fall short of meeting projections. 40% liquidate and lose most or all investment. Those numbers you all know them. We know that the odds are against us. But why are we still trying? Why do we always hear people calling that they are going to open their own shops, they are going to do their own stuff, they are going to open their own companies? I believe they do that because they found their own tribes. And when I say tribes, I'm thinking about, and I'm talking about a feeling that you realize that another person has the same goal that you have. And we have been always doing that. Since the Stone Age to now, we are in the caves, we're living together in order to fetch food. And now you are talking in social networks, crazy technological stuff, but we have always been doing things together. And we do that because we have a shared belief. And a shared belief is, in my point of view, because a tribe is strong. And if you work in a company and you ask yourself, what's your shared belief in your company? And you cannot tell that. That's why your tribe is weak. That's why your company is not, they are just looking for money and everything else. You don't have a philosophy, you don't have a shared belief. So if you can answer that in your company, totally you don't have a shared belief. And it can be many, many different things, right? I'm not saying that you have to have just one single. They're very different ones. Hippie movement, peace and love, those guys were doing nothing but for peace and love, right? What would you do? I don't care, I don't know, I just drive a combi to the countryside and dance music, that's it. But they fight for peace and love. Or you can go the other way around and fight for God and country. I'm not getting political here. I'm just saying that you can either be in a tribe and fight for peace or love, or you can be in the army and fight for God and country. Many, many different styles, many, many different of shared beliefs. But there are some tribal nations that took shared belief to another level. And those guys are Indians from the Amazon. These are the Xingu, one of the biggest tribes in Brazil. And just to give you a few numbers, so if you don't know, this is the north part of the country. All this is Amazon. Core Amazon, south, east, north, west. And their numbers were pretty higher than that, right? Of course, before we came in. 0.5% of Brazilian population, and now 374,000 Indians. But what I still think that they kept there, and just to be precise, we still have Indians that drive Toyotas and talk on their iPhones, right? We have those kind of Indians. I'm talking about Indians that are still close to the pure state, to the wild form. They have different standards than this mixed culture with Brazilians, Portuguese, and Indians as they were before. Society. There are no social classes there, which is pretty different from our point of view, right? Men are responsible for hunting, women for food and taking care of children. Leadership. I love this part. Dual leadership. Inconceivable in an army or in a company, right? They have always two. Equal power. Cacique, as we call it, is a military chief. He is responsible for all the political and other aspects of the tribe. And Pajé, I believe around here or in Asia you call it shaman probably, which is the leader that gives spiritual guidance. It is a more human figure in the tribe. Equal power. And economy. Everything is shared. Everything. The only thing that they have as individual property are working tools. And education and rites of passage are pretty much the reason why they do what they do. Female kurumins is the way we call children. Female kurumins, they follow the course of women and they learn their craft. And when when they menstruate for the first time, they have a big celebration focused on singing, dancing, and other things. Male kurumins, when they enter between 13 and 14 years of age, depending on the tribe, they have to face a rite of passage, which casts them to the adulthood of the tribe. So they have to face that thing in order to be part of their shared belief, in order to be part of their culture. They have to prove themselves. Crazy shit is going on down there. Sateremawe. Sateremawe is a tribe in the northeast part of the Amazon, and they use that bullet ants glove, and the child has to wear it for 20 minutes while dancing and being beaten. Algonquinos. Algonquinos, they use a root, a plant called ayahuasca, and they heat that ayahuasca root until it becomes a tea, and the child has to drink that tea, which is a drug, and it's 1,000 times more powerful than LSD. You guys should try it. I did. Freaking awesome. That's the kind of trip you get. But they take the kid, they put the kid in the outside of the village in a bamboo cage, and they just leave him there. Next morning, they will come back and ask him if he remembers any kind of memory from his childhood. And if he does, the process goes all over again. Why? They are trying to swipe his memory from all kindness from the childhood. I'm not saying I want to do that. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm saying that's the way it is. The Matisse, crazy stuff. Those guys take the sweat from the back of a poisonous toad and they apply on the wounds of the child after a whipping session. I don't have to say, the kind of body reactions that those guys must have, fevers, inflammations, everything you can imagine. But after that, he enters the tribe. He can now be a man there. So culture is pretty diverse. And sometimes it can shock even the most open-minded Western minds, right? Canela tribe, for instance. These guys live a life focused on pleasure. Totally on pleasure. Every single work that they have to do in their tribe, they attach it entertainment company. So if they have to fetch timber outside the village, they will come back racing themselves because they have a fun company attached to it, right? So in one point of view, it's great. Whoa, what a nice tribe. On the other point of view, women, after her first period, they have to have constant sexual relationship from 10 to 20 men of the tribe. Which is, to our point of view, it's, whoa, hold on a second. And if they don't do that, they're actually excluded from the tribe because they are not contributing to its happiness. So, very, very different styles, very, very different cultures. The Canela. This is actually a real picture of the women showing themselves to the men of the tribe. My point is that Indians do crazy things to protect their cultures and live according to their shared beliefs. In many cases of those tribes, Canela tribe is more focused on play, so we have to have fun. So they do what they have to do to have fun. And other tribes are just trying to survive. So that rite of passage is just a test to cast those men to a new world. But what about tribal companies? Business, right? So I had a very big research on tribal companies in order to find good examples, because in our regular, on daily basis, it's hard to find those kind of examples in the business world. But I did. I believe Ambev here is called AB InBev, probably, selling to our company. In Brazil, those guys are freaking aggressive. They have zero tolerance to second places. They gotta be the number one, and they are the number one. They control more than 70% of the Brazilian market. They are seen as ruthless by the supplier. I'm a supplier. They are freaking ruthless. They are a highly competitive environment, and they even teach their professionals, top management and top leaders, to fight. MMA classes, judo classes, jiu-jitsu classes, everything you can imagine by fighting. So they're the warriors, actually. Great minds. You all know that. I could jump. I just wanted to stay here. Why? Because of scaling, right? Before Google, everyone would say that if you want to work in a happy environment, you should choose a small company. You go small. Otherwise, if you go big, you can't be happy. It's too hard to create a happy environment for thousands of people. But these guys did it. They are seen as it. Everybody knows it. And they are one of the most valuable companies in the planet for it. Not just for being best talents or world leader in search engines. Freeman, this is one I love. There's a guy called Ricardo Sandler, CEO now, he wasn't. At his age of 23 years old, his father, which was the founder and the CEO at that time, stepped down from the company and he stepped in. And the first day that he arrived at the company, he fired all directors. All of them. All of them. Guys, you are doing shit. My company is like vertical, it should be horizontal. You don't know, the gap between you and the employees is too huge. You don't know what you're doing, so you're gone. He fired them. And he convoked the elections. So he asked, actually, so all employees to elect new leaders. And he did. So new leaders came up. Long story short, he came up from $4 million in 1982 when he stepped in to $212 million in 2013. He actually left the company in 2008. But his legacy and his style of doing business kept on there. Just a little interesting point here, that those leaders have also to reapply for their own positions every 6 months. So, I'm a creative director, I want to stay a creative director, and I want to raise. Or, you should decrease my salary because I'm not performing the way I should. And funny enough, 50% actually ask for a decrease because they feel ashamed. And they feel they should have done a better job. Activists, Natura. Not well known in other places of the world. Europe, I think, in the US maybe. They're the first company to focus on the Brazilian biodiversity. And they have a 1 million women sales force. So talking about scale, how come you can create a company that has 1 million people working with you and how come you can organize all that? And they found a way to do that. They created a company which doesn't, I don't care about that. I care about this. The children community. They created a special courses program that offers couple counseling, family income management, and even private classes to their kids. It's a completely different business module to a whole new world. But what if we could take everything we know now from crazy tribes from the Amazon and some different examples from the business world and put them together and do our own thing? So let's play God a little bit. Welcome to the jungle. So how did it begin? How the company began? In the beginning, chaos, right? Indians walking around doing whatever they need, whatever they want. Crazy things happening. So Mother Nature came and said, guys, this is not working. You get your shit together. This is not working at all. You have no respect for life cycle. You have no respect for rules. You have no respect for roles. You have to create your own thing. You have to open up a company. So Amazon Inc. was founded. They have only 5 laws. Children will follow, elders will lead, nature has to be respected. The best warrior will be called Cacique CEO, the one of the greatest knowledge will be called Pajé HR. And all will live from the tribe and for the tribe. And this is how it looked. Dual leadership, pros, leaders, child, followers. Nature as a platform. No one between them. No one. So we had the golden age. Many improvements and evolution. And they created a new vocabulary to manage all those new things coming up. Mother Nature became the supplier, life cycle, deadline, children, followers, adults, leaders, Indians, employees, other tribes, competitors, and the whole thing was called the market. Sort of this thing here. There's a whole new tribal system and a market going on there. But what about those guys, competitors? Remember the meeting that Mother Nature had with those guys? She didn't have that meeting with the other tribes. So they kept doing their shit. So their ecosystem came to an end, and they came to ours. So ordeal, war. Mother Nature comes in again and says, guys, please, again, you have to have rules, you have to have practice. I know you all may live independently, but you have to agree on some points. And they created a universal market practice. So each tribe is independent to live as desired, but the nature is common to all and has to be respected. This is how it looked like. Amazon Inc., Tribe A, Tribe B, Tribe C, one single market, but with rules. Then a new society, a new social structure. They lived in an atmosphere of healthy, not necessarily easily, but healthy competition, and families became departments. Engineering, supplies, sales, culture, planning, sustainability. They evolved the culture. And they created their own rite of passage. So this guy here, a child, 13 to 14 years old, in our case maybe 18, maybe 17, when he enters the tribe, he has to choose a department to go to, maybe culture. And once he goes there, he will face a no time limit internship. And what does it mean? It means that professionals from the culture department will have to say and approve him on basics. Say, you know about culture enough in order to go to another department. And so far, so on, until he, at the end, could actually choose one single department, which was his calling, and work there. This is how it looked like. Cacique CEO, Pajé at the top, all leaders, bottom of them, all followers. And why I say all leaders? Because, if you are a professional, you should do what you are doing right now. So maybe you don't have to actually have a leader. You have to have someone there. But not that many layers as we are having right now. And they created their own shared belief. Just 8 single points. And this is the shared belief. We strive for prosperity according to the rules of the market. We have virtues and defects because we are imperfect beings. We believe that the only way to survive is by respecting the supplier. Tell me about that. We choose to live in an atmosphere of peace with our competitors. Not necessarily easy, but peace. We evaluate our employees by productivity and happiness levels. We elect our leaders democratically by merit and vote. We demand that each individual proves his or her value and be veracious. We are confident the tribe is greater than anything else. And they actually were elected the best tribe to live in Amazon. So many tribes came, and they had this kind of picture, beautiful picture here, during their first annual convention. Lots of tribes, lots of people working. I know it sounds good, right? Sounds, nice place. But can this really work in real life? Can you apply this whole thing to my real life? And I asked, why not? I'm trying. So now I come back to my reality. I was a little bit selfish in my thesis because I did it in order to change my own reality and share with you guys. So maybe you have some tips here. Getting tribes together and define a universal market practice. I don't know about your industry, but in Brazil, in my industry, we fight each other to the death. Like hell. And last year, for the first time, we just agreed and created the first national congress about our industry, and we actually established some rules that we are trying to obey. Put the HR or the HR / talent management / people person, whatever, at the same level as the CEO. Nowadays in my company, I'm the cacique, and my partner is the cacique. And that's crap. You cannot have a company with 2 political or economic propellers. You have to have someone taking care of the company by itself, not just as a director, as an owner. So when I come back, I'll be the pajé, as we call. Create a rite of passage that obligates the trainee to pass through all departments. We're doing this there. I believe that this week we started with the 3rd person. We had 2 experiences before. One of them stopped doing the whole thing in 2 months, was ready to go, and he actually chose production. And the person is still going on. He's in creative right now, and this is his 4th month. So he's still doing his rite of passage. It depends on the people. Evaluate employees by productivity and happiness levels. I was saying that I should evaluate employees by its happiness. Yeah, why not? I don't like to work with sad people. Some people are just too unhappy. Some people can be transformed. You ask them why they're unhappy, and maybe they get happy. But some people are just crows. They're sad. So why not put together effective and happy people? Not just effective, happy as well. And elect leaders by proven merit and vote. Before coming here, so it's 3 or 4 weeks ago, we had this creative director position open. And I had my first option. I said, you know what? I shouldn't choose. Let's ask them. And I put up a vote. And a new creative leader was elected. That wasn't my first choice. It was my second choice. So, from 1st to 5th, that's enough. I can live with it. So that's what happened. And the guy is working there. And then you say, but what about money? Nice tribes, beautiful companies, different styles of leadership, but what about the money? And I say, of course it is important. I love money. You guys probably love money as well. If you want to give me some, I'll take it, dude. I'm here for you. We all live with it. Money is there, for good or for evil. Money is there. We cannot discuss with money. But I think we maybe took it too far. I believe that as we saw happiness and growth does not necessarily come just from it. Stock market is important, is our measure, but maybe we are missing something. That's what I'm trying to challenge, company evaluation. People say that company evaluation equals a matter of financial indicators. Can be profit, can be EBITDA, can be average revenue, whatever. But I think that company evolution equals shared belief. You do what you do every single morning when you go to work because you believe in it. And if you don't, you open up your own place with your friends, right? A lot of people are doing that. A lot of people are doing that. And I think that shared belief is much more important than a company evaluation. It's what we believe, and it's what we do, and why we do. And money will follow. Because what we do, as happy as we are, money will come. It's the other way around. And I believe that if companies have to change, we have to change. I'm definitely trying to change. And if you guys don't think that you have to change, or some companies in the world should change and have a shared belief more important than the stock market prices, I'll share with you a quote. There's nothing like returning to a place that remains unchanged to find the ways in which you yourself have altered. Nelson Mandela. Thank you.